over the past week or so on Twitter, I've been seeing this thing mentioned all over my feed. And my feed pretty much for Twitter is a combination of tech and sports, very tech heavy. So I've been seeing this thing on my Twitter feed all week, but I've been ignoring it because I hadn't heard of it and it looks kind of weird. But this thing from and I really just looked into it last night because I at some point I just had to because it's being mentioned everywhere.
Yeah.
From the looks of it, this thing seems like a pretty big advancement or advancement in the tech space or just the overall life space. It is called GPT-3, and that stands for Generative Pre-Training. It's basically, they call it general intelligence as a next step of artificial intelligence, general intelligence. And so I'll go over something real quick. I'm just going to read this. GPT-3 uses a vast data bank of English sentences and highly powerful computer models called neural nets to spot patterns and learn its own rules of how language operates, pretty much like machine learning or deep learning. It sounds complicated, but GPT-3's size and nature make it adaptable to all sorts of different tasks that involve any sort of language. So this GPT-3 was introduced, I think, early July or June by OpenAI, which is the artificial intelligence research lab founded in 2015 by Elon Musk and others. Last year, Microsoft invested $1 billion in OpenAI. Their aim was to create an AI that benefits humanity as a whole instead of one used for nefarious purposes. And apparently so this is the third version, GPT-3. The previous version, GPT-2, was apparently so potentially dangerous for pumping out fake news or filling the internet with spam that it was held back to the public at first. I think they slowly opened it up, but I haven't been in the tech space because I've been in school for the past 2 years, but I never heard of it. So this is something probably a lot of people have heard, but this is just coming across my radar now, especially with this third version. It seems very, very, very advanced. And there's a couple of demos that people have been working with this thing and showing kind of its capabilities. And I want to show maybe one or two. Basically, it's like a text environment where you can give it a question or say something, give it like a task to do, and it will do it. It will return text that does the task to answer the question, whatever. But I'm just gonna share my screen because it's hard to explain.
Basically, the goal is for it to put everybody on the same playing field, and
kind of. But there's specific things. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Can I get this bigger? Let me try to click in. Okay.
My mouth is on fire.
So let me go back. So this person he's entering what he wants done in plain text, like he's building a website or whatever, or elements on a website. He's putting in what he's describing it as, and GPT-3 is going to give him the code for what he just described and also present it to him.
Oh, fuck. So a layman could build code.
Anyone. You just describe whatever you want to describe, and it will generate the code for you. And that's been done before, kind of. But this GPT-3 was never learned.
So I can do my clickable music map that we tried to do a long time ago, and it would just give me a code for it.
The thing is, this thing was never learned code. It was never learned how to code. It was never learned anything. It was never taught. It was never taught anything about coding. It basically just accessed all the information that it knew that it had, stored or whatever, and created the code. It was never specifically trained to do this at all.
Holy shit.
So this is one example. I'm gonna go to another one.
Is there a company doing this? Where do I put my money?
OpenAI is Elon Musk's company, and they have basically an exclusive beta. So you have to submit a request to talk about your use case, how you're going to use it in order to gain access to it. So the average person is not going to get access to it. But so yeah, me and you can't use it. But I want to find some other examples. Your search.
That sounds crazy.
So here's one, just parsing unstructured data. Basically, someone types a paragraph about fruit in this example and like the characteristics of each fruit, very unstructured, just like in the paragraph form. And then you type, please make a table summarizing the fruits from wherever that is, GoCrux. And this is the table is what GPT-3 generates for you in like a second based off kind of an unstructured paragraph. So it analyzes it quickly and is able to match all the attributes with the fruits. So that's a quick example, not that impressive, but still. And then these are, okay, so this is the person typing. My second grader asked me what this passage means. He types in the passage, he or she types in the passage from whatever. And then this person types, I rephrase it for him in plain English a second grader can understand, : and presses enter. And this is what GPT-3 gives back as a way to summarize this passage in a way a second grader can understand. Like the task is to simplify this passage in a way that a second grader can understand. That's the task. And it comes back with this.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it does that for a lot of different things. Like another one was
it's taking relative, like people's relative understanding instead of like from the person's relative perspective instead of the perspective of language.
Right.
Which is
so this one, it was just, here is a poem by Shakespeare, : and then enter. And then the output was a new unique poem that sounded like Shakespeare. Another one is,
I could have used this in English class in high
school. Yeah, like essays. The demo isn't here, but if you said, I just, like up here, you would write, I just wrote an essay about World War II from the perspective of Poland or something, : enter. And then it would just give you an essay, like a unique essay, using all of its facts from what it can access to create an essay, like a unique essay. It can just, it's basically another way I saw that it was described as, it was an API for Google search, but it's not just a search. It's a general assistance. Like it is able to search, but it's also able to reason and think and make decisions based off the search. It's as close to being a human assistant as possible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So this has the potential, and this is another example. He's creating a CSS class for a specific element, whatever. He just describes it and is immediately giving them the snippet. So when I'm thinking, this can replace so many introductory developers' jobs. Like, I'm thinking if I'm looking for a job right now and I'm looking for a role that maybe some company needs some help doing some coding for, and it's not too complex, you're just completely replaced by this.
Yeah. like when I'm thinking about like my job is very people based and almost educational as well, because I have to do marketing for like for older small business owners. So there's a lot more hand holding involved that I can show them this. They're going to be fucking lost, you know? Like I have to really like develop. There's like a person to person thing that I think the older generation, you know, they're just not capable of it. But for younger generation, like,
yeah, that's not. I mean, as this version, kind of this raw version. I mean, once you get the code, you got to know what to do with it. So
yeah,
it's not that straightforward yet. But there's going to be a point where it's going to be integrated with the whole pipeline, the whole tool set of where maybe within inside of your IDE or what have you, your text editor, you're going to be able to, in plain English, plain text, say that type of thing, what you want, and it's going to generate the code for you. So it's you know, going to be able to integrate with and create unit tests and all that stuff for you. So this is just very raw, showing you kind of the power of it. But you could say anything. Say, when you were talking about music before, we were talking with Jack. If I were I just created a song that sounds very similar to Kanye West Through the Wire, but also has a touch of Young Thug's blah, 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 colon, and then press enter. Or like, these are the lyrics for that song, and colon, enter. So you have to phrase it as like a task or prompt and give it some specifics, and it will give you that. Like, it's basically Google search immediately and making decisions or thinking based off everything it knows.
Yeah, and I've actually talked about this with music friends in terms of a random generator that just keeps generating essentially brand new songs, but that you create and control and decide which songs you can pluck.
Right. So but it's not random.
No.
I'm saying this is not random.
For music, it has to be random.
There's no before.
There's no answer. Yeah. There's no answer.
But it's not just randomly. It's not like picking a number and saying, "Oh, number 11." This.
Yeah, but music is random. Music's random.
What do you mean?
There's no, like, you could say like, do a song with these lyrics and Young Thug and like this and that. It'll come out with something, but that isn't the only answer.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Music's random.
Okay. I don't exactly know what we're talking about, but
so what I'm saying is it'll come out with something, but that's not, it should have multiple variations of that same
I know.
request.
I know. It should, for sure, because otherwise it would have one use and one use only.
And then at the end of the day, you as the artist are picking the subjective
I see what you're
encompassing song.
I see what you're saying, yeah. True. But yeah, man, I wish I could get my hands on this because this is very, very powerful. Many different use cases.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to just fucking play around with this one.
Yeah, I know, me too. I would spend all day fucking around with this.
Yeah. I'd try to like fuck it up. Like fuck with it. But
dude, say it like, if we were in freaking high school, this is my essay on The Great Gatsby. Enter.
Yes.
This is an essay on The Great Gatsby written by someone with the reading comprehension of a 10th grader.
Yeah.
Doing an essay in, ancient English, whatever, give like specifics, a lot of specifics. So it gives you a very believable essay for, your 10th grade English class.
But imagine you can go deeper than that. I want an A+ in Miss Banker's class. Here's the text. Go.
Ooh, if people had uploaded essays,
Miss Banker's mind, yeah.
Ooh.
Like if it can read the individual's mind, and I can, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think the only way would be if there's, those sites that people will upload previous tests or papers from a certain class online, and you can go back.
Yeah.
If you were able to access that and see an A plus Miss Banker paper and see what elements made it an A plus compared to like a C or something, then that would be doable.
True.
So yeah, the applications of this are endless.
Damn, man. If this tech was around in high school, I might have gotten my
Already over.
might have gotten my C minuses up a little bit.
Well, this you don't even have to. No longer do you have to think hard. You don't have to do shit anymore.
Yep.
Wow.
That's the goal.
And this all comes back to Elon Musk. We don't know. I don't know actually how much involvement Elon Musk had in this, but for the sake of it, I'm just going to say it was all him. And this is a very, very big advancement. Just a new class called General AI. I mean, General Intelligence. It's just a new class on its own. This is very big.
It's very interesting. We can go so many places with this.
Yeah, we can come back to this later. But I just want to throw it out there so when people do get wind of it, they'll hear it first on Play by Ear Rabbit Hole Week.